We are meeting now at the organization which is called United Nations. We all know and we all share that there could be no just peace without justice served to all victims and survivors of this war of aggression. We all know and we all share that children, as most vulnerable victims and survivors of this war, should be served their matter of justice as a matter of top priority. My colleague, our ombudsman, Metro, just mentioned that he felt that arrest warrant issued by the ICC against Putin and Lvova Belova has resulted the increase of Ukrainian children returned back home. But he also told you several stories, saying that there are teams of people who are trying to return back home 1, 2, 3 children. And we all know that with such speed, I'm sorry to say this word, it may last for years. But we have no time. We have no time, especially for those children who don't know about their national identity because they were kidnapped in a very young age. I will not repeat the figures. I will not repeat how heinous such crimes are. I will not repeat that it's not only war crime, that the scale is lifting to the crimes against humanity, or I would say potentially crime of genocide. We as prosecutors in Ukraine, in the ICC, of more than 20 countries that have opened their national investigations into the crimes committed by Russia against Ukrainians and Ukraine, we will do our job. We will do our best to make all perpetrators accountable. But is it enough to return back all Ukrainian children when they are still Ukrainian? I'm sorry, some words could seem that they are cynic, but we are living in a very real world in Ukraine, much more real than anyone can imagine. And we have no time actually to discuss a lot. What we lack proper international mechanism to return our children back home. Therefore, we don't need only be united for justice as we are already for Ukrainian children. We need to be united for children. The world was very active in order to create a mechanism to feed people who could starve from hunger by Ukrainian grain. The world was very active, and it was not only about feeding people, but also about feeding children of the other nations. And Ukraine did its best to provide grain for those who could starve from hunger. And United Nations as an organization was actively involved in this process. I think now it's time for United Nations to become united to return Ukrainian children back home. And any voice, any pressure, any communication, more work from our prosecutors on any level would help all of us to do our best for Ukrainian children to return home as soon as possible.